Hello and welcome to another episode of Down the Track. Today we will be reviewing an incredible game that just concluded between Rajasthan and Punjab. A lot to talk about, and we have with me, of course, we have our host Musti. How are you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm on top of the world right now. What a game, man.
What a game.
Cricket is back.
Yeah, absolutely. It was an incredible game. And we have a special guest today, Mr. Atif Haider. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm good.
We are very happy to have you.
There with me right now with the game. Thank you so much for having me.
And birthday gift for Atif. It was his birthday today, and what a gift. Tewatia handed a nice birthday gift on a platter today.
What a day. What a match.
Amazing, man. Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. There was, incredible start by Punjab. They had a very good opening stand. Mayank Agarwal hitting it out of the park, very clean hitting. KL Rahul supporting him. Just maybe a little bit, maybe 5-10 runs short, considering the way it ended. Now they would have felt, but who would have thought 224? So it's just started off very well. And then, what were your thoughts about the Punjab innings? Atif, we can go with you first.
Oh, incredible batting. I don't think there was anything that they missed out on. I honestly don't think it was a bad total. There is no way you could have thought they'd lose. But just to talk about the batting, Mayank Agarwal's been in great form, so great batting. KL Rahul's been in great form, so great batting. They've been unlucky when they lost the first game. I really think that, that was a big, I think, bolt that you could have gotten, but they came back strong. And a batting performance like this is unbelievable. And when your top order clicks, I mean, even something like a Puran coming in, because you thought that, first two games he wasn't performing. Yeah. Even him coming in and hitting a cameo like that, I think there's nothing that any other team would want. Like when you would tell a team that you would score 224, 226, I think. So much excitement, I can't even remember the exact score.
It was
223, so 224 to win.
224.
So, I mean, I don't think there's anything missing. Very good batting, as we all know. Rahul and Mayank Agarwal play cricketing strokes. I don't think there was a lot of slogging, but some really nice shots. So pleasing to watch, lovely batting. There's nothing else that anyone can say that apart from the fact that they lost, which was really unlucky for them.
Yeah, I think unlucky 2 times now in 3 games. I mean, first game also they had the game. I mean, that short run that they contest. I mean, it's just unfortunate. And then today you can't really. There's no words to describe the way. I mean, Tewatia coming on, and then you expect the game is done, but. What a turnaround. What an absolute turnaround. But they were always in the game, Rajasthan. I think they kept the run rate going. Musti, any thoughts on the chase?
On the chase? Yeah. I mean, unbelievable. Like, credit to Smith, the way he started, played some really attacking shots. He set the platform. And Samson, what a player. I think, I don't know what it is, but when these guys play in the Indian Premier League, they just look next level. Like, I hope he continues this for India, but he looks a next level player. I think both of them, a solid partnership. Credit goes to them for starting that, but then I don't know what that guy did, man. Like he started off like a Maruti 800 and then went on to become like a Bugatti Tewatia, man. I just don't. I can't explain. Like 5-6. I'd never expected that. I don't think anybody expected that. Commentators were saying, "What is he doing? This is such a poor decision." Everyone, including us, had to eat our words today. Like it was like something you can never imagine. Like that's what happened.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think I won't believe a single person who says that they were backing him. There's no way anyone was backing him. It was just everyone was really hammering him down. But he came back, and 5 sixes of a very good bowler in Cottrell. I mean, he's not like a part-timer or someone. But your thoughts on Atif on that turnaround by Tewatia?
It's unbelievable because honestly, as a batsman, you understand the pressure he's in, and I'm not going to blame him, and I'm not going to blame the team selection either, because like you said, at that stage, everyone was literally saying that this was the worst decision to send him in when you have Archer or Curran or whoever was left. But I really think that at that stage, when you're a batsman, you're only trying to do your best. So I don't think you can blame him because you're trying to really hit the ball out of the ground so that your team can chase a big total. Right. Sometimes you have to just go back to your basics, take a single. If you can't hit the ball, that's what we always were taught, that if you can't hit a 4 or a 6, the batsman in front of you is playing amazing cricket. He's batting brilliantly. Yeah. Take a single, rotate the strike, let him do what he has to do. I think that was one mistake Tewatia made. He tried to join in and do what Samson was doing. Right. And the form that he was in and the way Samson is timing the ball, I don't think you can match that. So do your own thing. So when he got under that pressure, I mean, literally you could say that he had tears in his eyes because he wasn't able to hit, and he was literally making his team lose. But at that situation, I feel you should just rotate the strike, take a single. But then credit to him, because the amount of, I say confidence you need, or the mental strength you need to come back and hit 5 sixes after that sort of performance is unbelievable. Because one, you need to be very, very mentally strong. Second, you need to be able to back yourself, because when you're batting at a strike rate of 50 and suddenly you turn it around, you've got to have amazing mental strength. So credit to him, because I don't think a lot of batsmen could have been able to turn it around. They would have probably hit 1 or 2 sixes and gotten out. But to change the game and hit 5 is credit to him. I mean, unbelievable, top class. I don't think any amazing, brilliant batsman right now in the world, Smith, Kohli, could have actually turned it around the way he did. I mean, credit to him.
Yeah, and one thing Atif said was spot on. Like, you can't blame him. Like, he was there, sent out to hit, and he was just missing it, right? Like, his intention was there. Like, he was just struggling. It was a bad day. That's where, like, if they lost, you could question the team management, because that's like an Uttapa. Because what Atif is saying, that's not Tewatia's team. Like, Uttapa can play the single double. This guy was sent out to hit. So that's where you can maybe question the team management. But his intention, you can never question, because he was trying to hit. It was just it was a bad day.
But yeah, just to touch on that mental strength aspect. I mean, he was a single was turned down. It was like he was a number 11 batsman. A single to come out of that. I mean, Sanju Samson said no, even though it was an easy single. So just to come out of that, I mean, after Sanju Samson got out, to just hit that out of the park to 5 sixes in an over, just completely changed the game around, and they won with 4-5 balls to spare. So just hats off.
Even in that, no matter what type of a batsman you are, whether you're a number 11 or whether you're a top order batsman, when you are turned down for a single, it does not go down well with you. No matter if you're playing gully cricket or you're playing international standard cricket, if you've been turned down for a single, that is an open expression saying that, look, it's not working out for you. I'm not trusting you with it. And it can get really scary, because in a team, if that wouldn't have gone right, like if, for example, Tewatia wouldn't have done what he did, it would have been a nightmare for him in the dressing room. Because even though it's a professional setup, you would say that no one would actually blame him, but you have the eyes on you. Like, everyone would have their eyes on him, and he would know himself that if he wouldn't have performed this, he would have known that the team didn't lose because of him, but it was completely his fault. I mean,
going to guilt for sure.
Absolutely. So he would have his head down, and it would be very difficult to talk him out of it. So I mean, it's amazing for him, because I really think it would be really tough to come out of. This could have been those innings where you'd say, okay, his career is over. It would actually have been that. But right now you'd say a career has begun. So you can't really.
It also came after a poor bowling performance. He had just had 1 over for 19 runs, so he didn't even bowl that well. So a lot of things were going against him, and then just 5 sixes and over changes everything. But I mean, more power to him. Congratulations to him. He did a very, very good job. Coming back to Punjab a little bit, what were your thoughts on the bowling? Just seemed a little bit lackluster. Did you think? Musti, if you want to take that.
I mean, both sides got smashed. It's not just Punjab. Both sides got hit. They had quality bowling, but that pitch was a belter to bat on, and a small ground, so that didn't help as well. You could say, like, I mean, I don't know, like, you could say they could have changed it up a bit, but I think they started off well with the wicket of Butler. Cottrell bowled well, and even Shami was bowling well, but then it's just a small ground. I don't think you can really do much on a ground like this. And we've seen Punjab, they have a decent attack. They just, against RCB, a strong batting lineup, they bowl really well to them. So I think it's more of the pitch and the ground. Today, I think it's just a batsman's day. So I wouldn't really criticize the bowling, but maybe Atifi has a different point of view, but I don't think you can really criticize the bowling.
Right.
No, I agree with Musti. I wouldn't criticize the bowling, but again, I would probably question the bowlers used. Like we saw, I think Murugan Ashwin was used for 1 over. I mean, bring him on earlier. You're bringing him on when there are 7 runs left of the last over, or 8 runs left. He bowled 1 over, and he
bowled one before that.
Yeah, he bowled 1 before that. So he's a good bowler. Try and change it up. I know that it went horribly wrong in the end. Like, you cannot see, when it's the last 4 overs, you can't blame a bowler, because once the batsman starts hitting you, you can bowl a slow one, you can bowl a bouncer, you can bowl anything, it'll go out of the park. But they were getting hit from the start. It's not like, okay, the last 4 overs changed the game. 223 is a score where you have to be hit consistently throughout 20 overs. So try different things. I mean, whenever you're getting hit like that, I feel a bowling unit should try something else. Get a spinner into bowl. Agreed, maybe the wicket wasn't favoring him, but Murugan Ashwin is a bowler who can actually try and maybe turn the game. He's got a few variations. He's got a good googly. You know, he bowled a really good googly and got a wicket in the last over.
That's an excellent point, because especially Bishnoi, he was troubled against Bishnoi was Tewatia. He couldn't really get him away. So maybe Ashwin, you're right. I think that's an excellent point.
Maybe that extra over to Maxwell also. I mean, he gave him a couple overs, but then to go back to him, I don't know. That didn't make sense to me personally. But of course, I mean, KL Rahul, of course, had some theories behind it. He must have had some backing. But in that over was the over when he got hit for about 12, 13 runs. And I think that was the over that he got turned down that single as well. I think Sanju Samson was...
I mean, I honestly feel when a right-hander is batting and he's batting so well, and if I'm not mistaken, the leg spinner does trouble him a little bit, or even though he's in amazing form. A leg spinner is a bowler who can take a wicket. I think an off spinner is someone who you give a wicket to unless he's bowling an amazing ball or he's actually got a ripper of a dusra or something. A leg spinner is someone who either gets hit really badly or can get a breakthrough, and you're anyway getting hit. So instead of Maxwell bowling 3, I think, get Murugan Ashwin to bowl an extra over, or get him to come up against Sanju Samson, because one ball, like one beautiful googly or one flipper, one good leg spinner could have gotten him. And we know Sanju Samson plays the leg spinner well. He likes to use his feet. Maybe he would have had a stumping opportunity. Against Maxwell, it's a right-hander. It's with the spin. He hits a very good ball over covers, Sanju Samson. So you're not really taking a risk. Even though I think Maxwell's figures were all right in considering the situation. I think he got an economy of 9 or something like that, which is okay. But take a risk. You need to win the game. You need to, get wickets. Shami's been bowling well. I'd probably finish his quota. I wouldn't wait. I'd want to get Sanju Samson out. So I'd use my premier bowlers, try and get the wicket, because if Sanju Samson's out, Tewatia is not going to get a chance to do this. He has to then play a long haul. 5 sixes would not have helped him. So I feel that if you have premier bowlers, Shami's been bowling really well. I mean, I think credit to him, his comeback after the lockdown has been really, really good. Use your best bowler, try and get the wicket. That's what I feel all the good captains, the experienced captains do. You always see them bringing in their best bowlers when a batsman is playing really well. So that's the only thing I'd pick on. But again, that is picking on minute details, because when someone is batting like that, I don't think you have much of a chance. So they could have tried. But once you lose, there are so many things you can think of. I could have done this or I could have done that.
Definitely.
In hindsight for sure. But definitely something that they in experience of Rahul maybe showing just a touch over there, because his first major tournament as a captain and stuff like that. So maybe he'll definitely learn from this. Moving on, we have to talk about that unbelievable effort by Nicholas Pooran. I mean, what was that? Okay, just that beautiful, like he was literally outside in the boundary rope and he saves that 6. He gives 2 runs instead. He saves 4 runs for that team. Your thoughts on that, Aadhafi?
I mean, I think it's just become amazing how fielding has changed. If you go back 10 years, 15 years before the IPL started, it has been a revelation, and I love that. I mean, from batting and bowling to change that, and every run counts. Obviously, every run counts, and his effort was unbelievable. I mean, you see a lot of these boundary line efforts, but such good balance, such good poise. I mean, you can't describe it. It was like a Jaunty Rhodes moment for me, because that was what you saw growing up, right? You saw Jaunty doing these things, and he was unbelievable. I mean, that really, he was putting in 100%. And you see so much of that in cricket these days. It is something which youngsters should now look forward to. I think that is something where everyone now is trying to dive and save runs off the boundary. It's the new thing. I think it was unbelievable. I mean, something that everyone should watch and learn from.
Musti, any thoughts to add?
Yes,
just before that, the over before that, Cottrell running hard and saving those 2 runs also. Like, even that big fast bowler, you never really expect that. I mean, even today, some of these fast bowlers would not do that, but he dived in and he just by the whiskers saved that 2 runs for that team over there as well. Those kind of performance really lift the team. Those kind of efforts really lift the team, you think? Musti, your thoughts on that?
I think that's the Jaunty effect. He's the fielding coach now in Punjab, and you saw him appreciate. He's the first person to get up when Pooran did that. And And also, even Agarwal was a fantastic stop. I think towards the end. Samson shot at the extra covered long off area. So that's the Jonty Rhodes effect. That's like, in T20 cricket, fielding is so important. Like saving those runs. And what Puran did was like unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen a boundary stop like that in my life. But it shows when you have such a world-class coach, like, it can affect the team. And like Punjab were never a great fielding side, but now they're probably the best because of Jonty Rhodes. That influence. Cottrell is diving. You have Agarwal diving, Puran diving around. You'll see more. You'll see some excellent catches from this team because they're going to be focusing on fielding. When you have a guy like Jonty Rhodes, he's going to make them do different kind of drills, different fielding practices. So you're going to see a lot from this team, especially.
Definitely must be very, very inspiring for them also for Jonty Rhodes to stand up, clap, and then kind of bow down to him sort of in a way. So that was very nice to see. But
I think one point to add just to that is the effort. I mean, forget whether you're actually going to catch it or not, whether you're going to stop it or not, it doesn't matter. I felt fielding and watching Jonty Rhodes grow up, it was always about the effort. Forget it if you caught it, forget it if you stopped it, put in 100%. You see so many fast bowlers. When you mentioned Cottrell, I could only think of the fast bowlers over the years who don't make an effort to dive. They put that foot in. There's so many examples where you see just one boot being put to stop. That effort was not put because there was a fear of injury. They didn't think they were flexible enough. Just the fact that that effort is being put in by each and every player shows that fielding is important. And a coach, like Musti said, like a coach like Jonty Rhodes is just saying, give it your all. It doesn't matter after that. Put in that effort. So that is really good to see from Punjab.
Yeah. Definitely. Yep. Moving on, player of the match, Atifi, for you.
Oof.
I know Musti's answer, but I know I kind of spoke to him about it. So,
I'd honestly, I'd give it to Tewatia just
nice.
Because of the ups and downs. And he lived a whole life in that innings. It had highs, it had lows, it had inspiration, it has demotivation. He went the whole circle, and to have that mental strength, I mean, it's unbelievable. When you play a match, I mean, all of us have played some sort of friendly games on the field. When you're playing and when you're so disappointed where you've lost, dropped a catch, or you try to hit a 6 or a 4 and you let your team down, to come back from that is just next level. I think credit to everyone else. There were match winners on each team. Yeah. Rahul, Mayank Agarwal, Puran to even that hit that 25.
Samson,
Sanju Samson, Steve Smith, everybody. But this guy, I mean, he did something which you've never seen before. So, I mean, he's the player of the match for sure.
I think rightly deserved. Musti, do you agree? I think
100%. I actually I have nothing against Samson. I think he's like probably the most exciting player now in the Indian youngsters lineup. But you have to give the man of the match. I know Samson got it, but you have to give the man of the match to Tewatia because he won the game, right? It's who wins you the game, like at the end. Like, no doubt if Samson stayed till the end, like I would give him the man of the match. But after 5 sixes and like finishing off the game, you have to give it to Tewatia.
Yep, sure. Definitely. Yep. Definitely. Sanju Samson showing a little bit of consistency, which is nice to see. Usually you see 1-2 innings of him of this kind of caliber, but he's already done it 2 and 2. So that's something that
and the effortless, like the way he's hitting those shots, unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about him. When you've seen him over the years, he's always been effortless. It's just like Abu said, it's been the consistency. And I'm certain if he continues with this consistency, he will cement a place in the Indian team. You need batsmen like this. And there are so many players, there are so many legends of the game actually wondering why Samson is not in the Indian team regularly. Obviously, it's because of his consistency. But when you look at innings like these, I mean, it just shows how easy and effortless a batsman he is. Look at him, look at KL Rahul, look at how easily they're playing. And this is the next gen for the Indian team. So if you have these guys performing consistently and playing these shots, I mean, when you're hitting sixes over covers with ease, it obviously shows class. You cannot hit that shot without talent and class. So you have that. But the difference between Rahul and Samson over the few years has been consistency. Rahul's been a mainstay and Sanju Samson's been in and out. So simple.
So I have a question for both of you on this point only. So, do you think it's a matter of time? Because we saw Rohit Sharma also same thing. Like in the beginning of his career, so much talent, but he wouldn't score the big runs. And then this World Cup, he scored 5 centuries. The same thing with Rahul. So much talent, but there wasn't consistency. So and like there's so much pressure when you wear that Indian blue jersey. We've seen it with Rishabh Pant and all the players. So, do you think it's just a matter of time? Because Samson probably feels the pressure when he wears that blue jersey. But give him another 2-3 years, do you think he'll be on that level?
I think this is his tournament. I think this, if he continues here, I think he has a definite chance in this team. Atifi, do you agree?
Giving him time is interesting because will he be given time?
Yeah,
that's become the main question in the Indian situation. Does a player have time? Are you backed? Do you know you're backed? Do you know that you will be given that confidence? Rohit Sharma was in the team. We had so many discussions about how for 10 innings he didn't score and one big 100. Yeah. And again 10 innings he doesn't score and then a big 100.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was backed. So like you said, he either had that mental strength knowing that he's in the team, or he knew that, look, I've been told I'm going to be given 10 innings or 15 innings. You know, captains and selectors speak to you. So they tell you, look, you are a senior player, or you have this backing from us. You're going to be batting for the next 20 innings in the team. We're looking at you long term. You're going to be in the World Cup squad. That changes a batsman's mindset. Does Samson know, or does KL Rahul know that he's going to be back? Because there is so much competition right now. Look at the Karnataka boys like we were talking about. I mean, Mayank Agarwal, if he starts performing, they're going to say, okay, you know what, why can't they switch roles? Or there's so much competition. So does he have time? 100% for me, any batsman, give them time. They have to be given 3, 4, 5 years. If they have such class, give them 5 years and say, look, you are our batsman, go out there and play. And when you're playing with that confidence, I definitely think you can perform. After that, if you don't perform, you can't question the batsman can't question you. He didn't make it. That's the end of it. But there are so many players who you can say weren't given an opportunity. So will KL Rahul be given time? I think he will. Will Sanju Samson be given time? I don't think he will. Because I don't think they'll give Sanju Samson that time. If he performs really well this season, he might get into the team. But I don't see him unless he performs really well. Good 4-5 innings in the Indian team. I don't think he's going to be in the team as a consistent regular.
Yeah. And definitely, just to touch on the competition, the likes of the young talent in Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill also showing some maturity. Rishabh Pant looking okay for DC. I mean, he hasn't really had an incredible, but they haven't got into that point, I guess, yet. But something like Rishabh Pant to also think about. I mean, Sanju Samson is playing so well, so maybe this inspires him or demoralizes him. We'll have to wait and see. But definitely some really, really good talent coming through the ranks. So a lot of this will depend on how the management now decides to work out. And at the end of the day, you can only take 15 players in the team, right? So you have to decide which guys you want to back, and then like Atifi said, who you're going to back, and then you decide, okay, KL Rahul is going to be back, then you kind of bring these guys in, and then you give them enough time to sort of settle and cement their position. And that's something that we've seen with the current management in Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli, is that inconsistency of
chopping and changing.
2 or 3 games and then suddenly removing them and then not even being in the team. You've seen that happen to Ambati Raidu, which is unfortunate. You've seen that happen to a couple other guys. But yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe diverging away from the topic a little bit over here, but but yeah, something.
No, but I mean, just to talk about the youngsters, just to wrap up on that, I'd say these guys, IPL's been such a great platform. These guys are not youngsters anymore. A second season or a third season in the IPL is, you're experienced. You faced it. You have seen pressure from crowds. You've seen chanting your name. You've seen being booed. This is such a platform that will change you from a young under-19 boy into a great player in seconds. Right now, I feel the youngsters are Virat Singh, Priyam Garg. All these guys are the youngsters. So, I mean, it's really amazing how the IPL is changing these players into big boys.
Right, definitely. Yep, it's a great platform, definitely. I think that wraps up today's review. I think we can quickly move on to tomorrow's game. Another big game, Rohit Sharma versus Virat Kohli. There's a lot of things that go on even off the field on that aspect, but let's not get to that. But RCB versus Mumbai Indians. Atifi, your initial thoughts on that game?
I hope it'll be a cracker. They have the ability. RCB again is a team which suddenly shows you their bowling is not right up to where it should be. Every season, they somehow try and get the best bowlers who can not do the job. So I think Mumbai is going to win because they have that depth, and right now Kohli is not firing. Number one issue for them. So I think Mumbai is going to win. But you never know with RCB. I mean, they can do anything on their day, and it's just going to be a good watch, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, I mean, the bowling. Musi and me have not stressed this enough. We talk about it every single game about how we spoke about it in the preview. We spoke about it after game one. Spoke about it after game two. It's just something I just don't understand. Maybe the likes of Chris Morris, I believe, is very soon to return. Maybe he turns it around. But every single player who's been in RCB is now a champion for the other team. You see Marcus Stoinis, you see KL Rahul, you see Mayank
That's
Agarwal.
true.
It's just so surprising.
Yeah,
But Musti, your thoughts on the game?
Look, if this was in Sharjah, I'd give you the prediction right now: RCB to make 300 and Mumbai to chase it with 5 balls to spare. Umesh Yadav going for like 100 runs. But it's in Dubai. I still feel Bombay will be favorites going to the game. I don't know, man. It's just that death bowling. That's the issue with RCB. I think Umesh Yadav needs to be replaced by Siraj. Just try him out. Like Yadav has been tried for the last 10 years in the IPL. He keeps getting spanked in the death overs. So either give him the new ball, or I think they should give Siraj a chance. But also Mumbai don't have those spinners, and I feel the RCB batting lineup will fancy this kind of attack, pace on the ball. So the likes of De Villiers, Kohli, and Finch. So that'll be an interesting contest. I think that's where RCB can close it. But Mumbai going favorites into the game.
Definitely. I think the two things that RCB need to think about is one, definitely the dead bowling. I mean, you want to bring in someone to try and help that out. Maybe try Siraj out. The other problem that they will face is if they're trying to bring in a Morris or an Ali, then they remove Josh Philippe. But then you have to then think about the wicket keeping. So then you might have to drop Padikkal for Parthu Patel. But that becomes a very tricky situation.
No, but wouldn't you just drop Stain for Morris straight up?
Stain for Morris, that's an option.
I think that
because Stain has been a little bit expensive. You're probably right about that. So
and I think you would need to give him a break. I don't think he'd be able to play the whole season with obviously his age now. So I think Morris. I definitely think Morris should play. It gives you that batting option because we've seen Morris's exploits in India and the last two IPLs where he's just come and smacked it. RCB does need that also, and I feel Moeen Ali should play. He's such a game changer that I don't know much about this Philippe, but I think you play your experienced players. You have such a strong lineup. You have enough options for keeping. Make ABD keep, make Padikkal keep. I mean, what's going to happen? He might leave one catch or might leave 4 byes, but if he scores 50 or 60, that changes the game. So I think the team selection is a big thing for RCB. They back a lot of players who somehow I feel aren't really always a big hit, like Washington Sundar. I don't know if he's the bowler you want as a spinner. Chahal is brilliant, obviously, but who's his partner? Does Washington Sundar make it as an all-rounder? Is Navdeep Saini Shivam Dube is he your all-rounder? Are these Indian all-rounders good enough to be making them a mainstay of your team? So I think it's a little confusion inside the team always. So I don't know what's happening always.
Watch.
Go for it. No, go for it.
I said watch Washington Sundar be let go and then become a champion somewhere else.
I have a question for Atif. The reason I'm asking is because I don't want Don to ask me this question. Atif, your thoughts on Virat Kohli's captaincy, because there's a lot of questions. Like even Don mentioned, like RCB players when they move out, they go and they perform well. But could it also be that they're not being utilized properly by Kohli? You see the bowling changes as well that he does and stuff. It can be questionable. So, what are your thoughts on his captaincy in T20, especially in the IPL?
I feel they've been hit and miss. I mean, obviously, if you've been captain for 10, 11 years and you're the captain of India, you expect him to give you results. When you have so many other captains around you doing well, I think it's been questionable. I actually think that maybe change it around and see. Obviously, he's the captain of India. You're not going to remove him from captaincy. But I think it's been hit and miss. I don't think number one, team selection decisions are right. I'd never think the team's the right team. I'm sure he has his say in it because he's been in the team the whole time. I'm sure he has his say. Selection, again, it's a bit like Dhoni, but he's getting it wrong where he picks his players. He's saying, okay, Dube is my guy. He plays for India. I've taken him into the Indian team. Washington Sundar is my guy. But I don't think that he's been able to get that faith backed up by these players. So he needs to change it up. And he's been very, very stringent with his moves always. We've seen that with India also. He's not a very big risk taker sometimes, where you do something where if it works off, you're a hero. If you don't, it's very fixed. Like you just do things by a plan. I think sometimes it's actually planned before the game, which is very difficult. It's not actually the right way to always go about it. Sometimes on field you need to make a spur where get a part-timer on to bowl 1 over. You take Dhoni's example, one of the best captains you've seen. He always did that. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. After 5 years, everyone stopped questioning it. Like if Dhoni would come out and bowl, they'd be like, okay, maybe this guy knows something we don't know. But Kohli is just going by a plan. So I think he needs to change that a little bit. Obviously, when it works really well. But he needs to actually take some risks, change it up. And he's been probably one of the bottom 5 captains in the IPL for me over the years.
Yep, I think those are fair points. I think that wraps it up. I think we all agree somewhat that Mumbai going into this game favorites, but RCB on their day can really change things around, of course. But with that being said, thank you, Atif, for joining us. We look forward to having you more often.
Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Don, watch out for Gavaskar on commentary when Virat Kohli is back.
True that. That's another talking point.
That's the contest to look out for. That's the players to watch tomorrow.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, we didn't talk about the players to watch. Sorry,
for me, that's it.
But that's it. But for Mumbai,
for Mumbai. Hardik Pandya, I still want to see him. Of course, Rohit Sharma, but I want to see Hardik Pandya. He looks like he's in
ready
form.
To go.
I mean, ready to go, like body-wise. But let's see what he can do on the pitch.
Yeah, Atif, you from both teams.
Same. I think for Mumbai, I think I'd want to see Hardik Pandya go at it from last year, like how he was hitting it. And I want to watch Virat Kohli. I actually want to watch a good innings from him. It's been long. It's been we've been sitting in lockdown. We've missed a good innings, and once he's in touch, I don't think anyone can catch up with him. So I want to see Virat Kohli give a great performance.
This is the longest we've seen. We've been without a Virat Kohli innings, but that's not because of him not performing, but a lot of no cricket happening. So, but yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you guys. Catch you soon.
Thank you
So much. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.